we are boom. We are live. We are rocking. We are go.
All right.
Welcome, Victor. Who this week I see you've become blind.
No, but with all the spotlights on us, we're bringing up the show, so I got these professional spotlights on here to focus on me. And I can't see very well. So
actually, I was thinking they were like tanning lights. You're looking kind of tanned at the moment. How are you so tanned?
Natural. I don't know. It could be your racist. Could be. Oh, there we go.
Dude. How long have we been doing this?
There we go.
Okay,
I like this interface. It's
the
cool.
Gaming interface. I like the gaming interface better than the normal interface, actually.
You should tell people go to gaming.youtube.com and the watch the same things.
So I do that. I put out the link for this.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay. So everyone's on this. Oh.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people are. If you replace www with gaming in the URL for this page, you get this awesome white text on black background. You get a bigger chat column thing. Big shout out tonight for Sonomama82 is actually going to help us out with an experiment based on the feedback show that we did the other week.
His name, Sonomama.
Sonomama82. That's just Sonomama. Just 82. Maybe we should just call him 82. I don't know. But anyway, he's going to be flipping us. If you've got actual good questions or comments for us.
And he will also 88 you if you act up.
Yeah. In fact, you know what? I'm going to give Sonomama 82 the power, which is, let me just check how I do that. Oh, you know what? I don't know how to give the privileges
on this
interface.
Okay.
But you know what? I can address that. I can just flip this over. So,
before we started, well, today's a nice. I was gonna drink the bad Fireball, but I think I'll crack open the good the Knob Creek.
Knob Creek.
Which reminds me, we didn't say Yuichiro. Oh shit, we didn't see Yuichiro at the party. Was he there?
Yuichiro?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was there.
Who was there?
I'm pretty sure he was there. Yeah. Well, wait a minute. Forget about him. I hardly saw you at the party.
Yeah, we barely saw each other.
Although it's kind of, truth is, we have this weird thing where we only meet like once or twice a year, but when we do, we're already kind of sick of talking to each other.
Yeah, so we avoid each other.
It's like we're
like that Japanese comedy group that never talk to each other. They're really famous. What's the name? Matsumoto and
downtown Hamada and Matsumoto.
Yeah. So they avoid each other at all costs when they're not on the site.
I didn't know that.
They don't even know each other's telephone numbers.
Really?
Yeah, they take different planes. If one's taking a plane, the other guy takes the Shinkansen. They completely avoid each other. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah. By the way, shout out. So just before the show, I did a bit of a pre-show. I experimented with this new Facebook. Cheers. With this new experimental Facebook Live feature. The live mobile streaming video feature. I actually did that as a pre-show. I showed people setting up, and that's where I asked.
I'm sorry, what are you talking about? What did you use?
So you know that Facebook now has a live. They basically have a live hangout internet broadcasting feature.
I didn't know that. I don't use Facebook that much. So what is this? Is it like Periscope?
That's exactly it's a Facebook version of Periscope. That's exactly what it is, except it broadcasts through your Facebook page live, and all your Facebook friends get notified that this dude is broadcasting something live. Go watch it. So
My God, another way to be a camera whore. That's amazing.
Well, I'm surprised that you're not that I'm saying anything about you personally. I'm surprised you're not all over that.
No, I should jump on that. I've been busy with the kid all day. I've been holding the kid all day. I had a tough week. The kid started nursery school this week.
We've all been holding kids all day. My kid started primary school this week.
Oh, really? How's he doing with that?
Well, it's a big change. It's a big change.
His eyes out all the time? No, he's okay.
No. Probably it is different to your thing. He's not going to be bringing home different diseases and germs and stuff every week.
My son's already got STDs. It's amazing. He's really advanced.
He's
in the advanced class.
He's your boy, so that's.
That actually, on one level, that's a really sick joke, but
it is. But this is the problem. I'm completely desensitized. I can't even tell if that's a sick joke anymore. Just from talking to you for so long, I've lost my sense of up and down and right and wrong. It's a big change. I don't know anything about this Japanese school system at all. So I'm in new territory as well as the lad.
Right.
Well, that's all good stuff.
Actually, I can't really read with these glasses. I'm gonna switch over to these. Well, here I can read the comments now. But
okay.
We have both. We have spies. No, we have a handler now who's going to be feeding us.
Well, today, that's right. Sonomama 82 is going to be handling us. Okay, cool. And there you go. So
and I've got a little bit of a organization here.
Yeah.
which you don't know about. You know partially about. Okay, so should I start? Can we start?
Yeah.
Really quickly, we just want to say thank you to what's the guy's name? Sam. That's right.
Sam. Sam. He's a guy in Tokyo, big guy.
Literally big, and
I think he's a dancer
and personality. Really big personality. Yeah, Sam helped. Sam, pretty much put it together.
He did. He ran the show.
We ran the show. Thanks for organizing the Hanami this year, and a special thanks out to his henchman, henchman Zach.
Sidekick. Well, they're like best buddies. Those two now. They're like a combination. Zach and Hikosaemon. From what I understand, I mean they double teamed the organization of that party, and good job, Zach as well, getting out there. And he was. It's good to have some youthful energy, which is much needed for an event like that, because it really is. You got to get up early in the morning, which old people like us can't do anymore. And you got to stand out there in the rain. You got to lay out the mats and everything. It's actually
got to clean up.
Yeah, and you got to clean up. You got to round. There's a lot of rounding people up, which
most importantly, you got to deal with everybody.
Yeah, and YouTubers in the park. It's
people like me coming up to you and complaining about people who are not going to get up at 6 a.m. They're the ones that are going to complain the most. We're
going to show up and look around and just complain about everything for conversation. They went, Zach and Sam. They took all the abuse, they set up, and it was a great event, a full success. I mean, there must have been like 150, 200 people show up, I think. And it was another.
It was a lot of fun. It was great to see everybody again.
It was a good party, yeah. And no particular fights that I noticed this year. There was no wrestling or anything like that in the park. It's actually amazing with Japanese hanami, isn't it? How you can have like hundreds of thousands of drunk people in a park and no need for riot police or National Guard.
In Nagoya, there's almost always a fight, like a physical, and they're always usually good friends, and they end up in the fountain.
Yeah. So if
Tokyo?
I don't see it often. I guess that sort of thing might happen in Ikebukuro or Ueno or neighborhoods like that, which is why I avoid them. Are you saying that if I were to go down to a hanami in Nagoya, that we would end up fighting in a fountain?
You and I might, because we're good friends.
We could do that.
Might require that.
Yeah. It almost sounds fun, actually.
Watch the documentary called Knuckle about.
Is that about fighting in a fountain during hanami?
About British cousin, like really close families in England.
Yeah.
Who they'll say, "Oh, our family's better than yours," and they're going to say, "Take that back," and then they'll fight, and then it'll become a grudge match, and it'll last 30 years.
Oh, okay.
And my son will beat up your son, and then.
Oh, dude! If you got to go, you got to go. But anyway, good question here from Joe Casey is actually asking. This is a good relevant time. We should. Okay, so Victor's got to go, so I'm gonna hold the fort. This happens. The problem is he's louder than me. I'm going to take this out, and I'm going to try to dominate the camera if I can. So let me just click on myself. Joe Casey has a good question there. Is there a planned meetup in summer this year? And there is. I've got to check the date because I assume actually September 10th is going to be the date. And I am already actually in the beginning of the preparations for that. We're going to upgrade it. With the last few years, we've done the same place.
So a miracle.
You can hear at the moment.
A miracle.
He
He actually crawled out of his crib, crawled onto the bed, onto the floor, came to the door.
Yeah.
When I opened it right on his head.
Oh.
He'll be okay. Now look at that. He knows how Skype works, so.
Yeah.
Wait,
hey, Victor.
Look at the monkey. Look at the monkey.
Hey, Victor and Godzilla. It's good to see you too. Hey, Godzilla.
He just woke up.
Yeah, I can.
I'll go. Yoko's here, so she'll go take him.
Okay. Well, it's good. He obviously wanted to watch the show, and I don't blame him. I mean, maybe he's like you. He could sense, like you have. He has that sense that a camera is activated and broadcasting, and he just was drawn towards it.
I'm really shocked that he got out of his crib and onto the floor.
So you mean he actually like climbed over the?
Yeah.
I'm impressed, actually.
That when he was moaning, he was at the door.
Yeah.
Oh, open the door because he can't talk yet, right?
Yeah.
But he loves the mouse and all that stuff. He loves banging on the keyboard. So you're getting us behind schedule. So.
We have a schedule.
Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye.
We should make him our floor manager.
Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye.
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 Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey,
bye-bye.
Inigo, bye-bye.
Bye. Is this like too close to be comfortable?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
He usually does that.
Okay, so I was trying to communicate a very serious message just now, and you know, there's complete unprofessionalism on the part of the 1-year-old there. I'd like to apologize for that, but yes, he will probably be the director of the show, probably in about 6 months' time. Wow, that's pretty cool that he actually managed to climb out of the crib. He's going to be breaking out of, like, I was going to say Alcatraz, but that's probably not good. I mean that in a good way. I don't mean he's going to be actually in. Never mind. Anyway, so there will, Joe Casey, there will be a summer meetup. It will be in September, and as soon as Victor comes back, I actually want to try to confirm with him now, but I think September 10 is the date I'm going to pencil in for it. And it will be awesome. It will not be in the Tokyo Sports Cafe this year. It will, in fact, be in a we're going to try to go a little bit bigger this year, bigger venue, a bit more organization, maybe some sponsorship and some other stuff. I've been encouraged by people in different places to go bigger with this, and so watch the space. But yes, the summer, and the great thing about the summer party is that it's weatherproof. It's at night. It's at a party time, and yeah, I hang around, but definitely pencil in that second week of September. That's typically when we do it. So yes, some people there talking about, actually, I can, and just because I'm on my own, I'm going to look at the comments now. Different people, different styles. Not everyone wants to have their entire life online. Indeed,
I'm gonna have to have him in on the show today, but he's wrapped up, so he can't grab things, and I think he'll be okay for a little while.
So wait a minute. I'm not just going to let that go. You've basically put your son into a straitjacket in order to restrict.
He likes it. He loves it. You just wrap him real tight, and he starts smiling as soon as I do it.
I'm calling Amnesty International.
It also stops him from touching his wee-wee.
Well, that's just natural and healthy. That's, you know, there's nothing you can do about that.
So, yes, Sakura was great. I had a great time. Though I don't remember.
Wait a minute. So wait a minute. I want to get you on what we've just been talking about while you weren't here.
What happened?
There's a question about the summer party. I've gone ahead without consulting you, and I've started penciling it in for September 10th.
Okay, great.
Is that cool?
That's cool.
Any objections? Because this is the last chance you're going to have. I've now said it out loud, and we are now, like, going to be committed.
It's usually the previous weekend.
Sorry?
It's usually the previous weekend.
Yeah, the previous? What do you mean by the previous weekend?
The weekend before the 10th.
Well, so that's what it is, right? Oh, you saw it.
September 3rd or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's usually 6 months.
Is the 10th okay?
Yeah.
But, you know what? I thought we always kind of go for it to be on that. That's always been the party that we always say afterwards.
The only problem is my birthday's on the 11th.
Yeah. So that's always been like your birthday party, but we don't call it a birthday party. Okay, but you don't.
We'll probably do it.
You don't want to do it on the 10th? You want to do it on a different week? I'm
going to get any pressure from the wife to do something, you know.
Okay. Are you like turning like 100 this year or something?
No, 48, 49.
49.
40, believe that?
Actually, I can't. I mean, seriously, you don't look any older than me, which is depressing on my part.
49, and I got a 1-year-old. I get comments like, "How was it possible for you to have a baby at your age?" I'm like,
but,
dude,
given that you're not, yeah, well,
I'm not actually giving birth to the kid. I'm not kidding.
Okay, this is just confidential for between us and the people watching this video. Truckloads of Viagra. You wouldn't believe how much. Seriously, there's a lot. There are some upsides of being a guy, and that's kind of one of them.
I've never used Viagra, but one of my students did, who's a little younger than me, and he said he had a hard-on for 8 hours, and it was horrible. So,
how old was the student?
He's a little bit younger than me.
Okay.
But the next year he had a kid, so maybe there's something to it then.
Maybe, but you know, yeah, I could see how. I mean, something like that, like any time before 30, anyway, I'd probably would have had to be hospitalized.
I don't think anybody wants, even a 20-year-old wouldn't want an 8-hour boner, I think.
But here's the thing, I think we've all been 20-year-old dudes, and I think at some point in our lives
I think we've
suffered through that naturally.
Yeah, nobody really, but you're not happy. Like, dude, you know, you're not looking at your watch, seeing how long it'll last. You know, you're
like, oh, shit, yeah. No, that would actually, but that's what I'm saying. So the fact is that can almost naturally occur at that age. If you were to add a drug that makes, you know, 80-year-olds experience that on top of having it naturally already, seriously, I would probably be off to hospital. I couldn't even imagine. And it doesn't sound like fun. I mean, well, I guess.
There is actually a name for that condition. I forgot what it's called, though. Something. Somebody will write it in the
Pro.
But I wanted to mention some things. There were some videos already out. Of course, my 360 video is already out.
Oh yes, which was a huge editing project there. Yeah,
yeah. It was 17 gigs of memory. It was very hard to edit. But just because of the size and the meta tool, it's complicated crap. But anyway, I got it done. So, but there's some much better videos out there, I think.
Yeah, there are lots of really good videos. I've just had the most insane week this week, and I haven't edited my little dance thing yet. I've got to kick off the competition for making 110 beats per minute music videos of the dancing part of the party. Plus, I missed the best dancing part. I wasn't recording when I thought I was recording at one part.
I'm very embarrassed by everyone making me dance because I cannot dance, and I think I proved it.
Well, here's the thing as well. You know what? You did look okay dancing, whereas I was so wound up, like with trying to get out the swag. And
I would imagine you were a good dancer, though.
Well, I'm usually I can hold my own, but I wasn't in a dancing mood. Mm-hmm. Actually, that whole day, I talked about this on my show last week. I was a little bit uptight, actually, and I wasn't in the zone I wanted to be in, actually. You know, right. When you feel responsibility for what's going on, like when you're setting up when you're giving away the prizes for it and stuff, and you want to get people doing it, and you're worried that no one's going to make it, that it's going to be a disaster, you can't be relaxed enough to really do it properly. So I was kind of like, well, that's what you get every year with these events, actually. It's the same with the summer party. It's great having the events, but, at the same time, you kind of, it's hard to actually enjoy them as the organizer the way that you want to. It's actually more enjoyable when you can relax afterwards and you don't have any responsibility anymore.
Did you see Hikosaemon enjoying himself?
No, well, that's the funny thing. I mean, Sam is now 30, right?
I don't know. Really? He's that old? Is he 30? I
think he's there or he's getting there. I can see him crashing into that maturity and life experience phase now, and you can tell it was weighing on him a little bit during the party as well. He's still fun. He's still Tikio Sam. He's still get up and dance and everything. But you could tell the responsibility was weighing on him a bit. Because he is the guy, he's the last person you want to have with responsibility. Not because he's irresponsible. He's actually done a very good job. But just because he's a lot of fun. You don't want him to be uptight, actually. And he was a little bit uptight. It's just you naturally become like that. The only person who wasn't visibly uptight was Zach, actually. Which is,
yeah, he's pretty relaxed. By the way, it's called Tai Nakamura, I think somebody told me it's priapism.
Oh, this is the boner thing.
Yeah.
I thought we got out. Okay, that's good. Priapism.
Hemming for Gray 62, terrible name.
Mr. Korichep, I was getting breakdancing lessons. There was actually like a serious pro dancer, and he was like doing the. So
some people were really good. Oh, that young kid who showed up. I forgot his name. Anthony.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Really good. Well, you guys can check out the videos. Who else put out videos? Zach put out a long video.
Everyone put out videos. Zach put out on the same day. He put up like a 48-minute video.
You gotta check that out. I haven't seen anyone's video yet.
Yeah, it was like the rock documentary of the whole thing. So
there was an interesting few videos by Jake Knowlton talking about some problems he had dealing with all the people. It's pretty interesting. One of them was called My Personal Space, or Get Out of My Personal Space.
At the Hanami party?
People were grabbing him and he didn't feel comfortable with it. And he didn't mention names, but it's an interesting video. He's a really good storyteller.
Whenever I see Jake, I have to grab that ass. I mean, it's just he's just got one of those asses that's just shaped that you just say, yeah. I mean, I don't see that he really has a right to complain about it because he's the one with the shape that,
Crappy Cartoons is here. I have not seen him forever. Abraham, good to see you, man.
Yeah.
The party. We took Christmas together 3 years ago when the bathrooms were so full. You had to go actually on the bathroom behind, go around the building and stuff. And everyone was peeing on the back of it because there was no way you go to get inside. And see, if your bladder was going to burst, it was terrible.
You bonded by crossing swords, as it were.
Yes.
Well,
I wanted to cross swords with Shivers last year, but she would have none of it.
Really? That surprises me.
She was out of control in a good way.
Yes. Well, that's what I mean. I mean, she's like up for everything in a good way. So yes, but probably that's for the best.
Anything else about? Oh yeah, I do have a question to the people watching. A serious question.
Yeah,
we did have about 200 people, 100 to 200 people show up. Last year, I think we had 500 people. So, any ideas on how we can increase the number? Just random question to anyone out there. Please write in the comments.
Well, I've got an idea. You know how like on YouTube videos, there are these dodgy sites out there where you can like buy subscribers and viewers and stuff like that.
Right.
Can you do that in real life? Can you actually get real people flown out?
Weddings, apparently you can. If you get married to someone, you have very few friends, you can actually hire people to sit in the pews and pretend to be your friends.
Okay, now I'm not saying I don't have friends. I have lots of friends. I'm a very, very social person. But where would I find this rent-a-friend service? Because that might be good information. And now you leave me. See, this is what always happens. He leaves. They talk. You go for the phone number and they leave. Story of my life. Anyway, Mr. Courtney Chat, yes, would be good if we could get. I'd fly everyone in the comments and totally if I could. Hey, there's a good question there from Zanelli Kai, which I want to actually ask to Victor. Although Victor's going to come back in the room and he's going to resume talking, assuming that we've just been sitting here silently waiting for him. So you'll see now.
What's the thing?
Okay. You didn't do it. I jinxed it. I just said, Victor's going to come back in the room and you're going to sit down and keep talking about what you were talking before you walked out of the room.
No, because I heard you say, let's see what he does. What are you do?
So I said I was going to, because you always, it's just a thing, So
I'm embarrassed to say I know nothing about baby metal, by the way.
Oh, so you could hear. Because did you see the late night, the late show?
Report, right, yeah. I heard he's on,
it's not
and
the Colbert Report.
Pick out that video, but
Dude, it's not the Colbert Report. He took over from Jay Leno. It's the Late Show.
I know, but
it's the biggest show in America. No, it's not the Colbert Report anymore. It's Colbert. So, I mean, they got a massive platform.
I love Colbert. I think he's funnier than Jon Stewart.
I think so too, actually. Yeah. But they got the best platform in US, broadcast media for going on. I mean, it's kind of incredible, actually. I don't know a lot about them myself, but at the same time, what I like about baby metal is that's a great example of something that I think could only get as big as it got in Japan. And now that it's already big and it's going overseas and it's catching everybody like left field and it's getting popular on its own, but something like that could never have taken off in the US or Britain, frankly, because the poser culture. You couldn't show up at a heavy metal festival with something like baby metal in the UK or the US. People would get like violently, opposed to it just for it not seeming cool or what they want.
Right.
What I love about
those are so funny. Those are the most rebellious people in the world. But if you don't adhere to their social rules, you're out.
You show up with some girls doing some dancing, or whatever. They'll be throwing rocks or whatever.
I'm gonna ask you a question. It's not an insult, but have you ever had a mohawk?
It's a good question. I have to think back.
Or because you could
not a serious one.
You could be punk if you shaved your head all the way.
I'm punk on the inside, but no, I've never been an intentional skinhead. But
So in college, my first year, I got a mohawk just for the hell of it, for no reason at all.
Well, that's cool.
And all these punks who looked like tough asses, everyone would walk up to me and talk to me, and everyone was so friendly, but they would only talk to me. Yeah. And they were really friendly to me, like normal, like completely. It wasn't like, yo, we're punk. It was just like, hey, how you doing? And they wouldn't mention the hair, but I had the standing mohawk for a couple months. But as soon as anyone normal walked by, they were like, oh, fuck that guy. Fuck that guy.
I had a thing. So I was, this may shock you, I was kind of straight-laced. Like when I went into college, I was kind of, short back and sides, I wasn't like overly dressed, but I wasn't too shittily dressed. And the thing is, when you walk around a university campus, some of my best friends are Christians and some of them are even fundamentalist. And, I got no problem with my friends or with what they do. But every freaking evangelical would come and stop me, and try to recruit me. Everywhere I went all over the place, I was always getting stopped by evangelicals. And
why? You look like a sinner?
No, well, I don't know. I guess I just looked approachable to evangelicals, and it was really pissing me off. And I just decided randomly that
it was pissing you. Why was it pissing you off?
Well, because like I said, I don't mind talking to an evangelical once a year. They can actually be kind of interesting to talk to sometimes if you get into a good conversation. But I don't want to be proselytized or whatever you call it, and I don't want to have to run. I don't want to have to go through these people every time I walk across the campus. Right. So I grew out, and it's just a random thing. I wasn't thinking, it wasn't conscious, but I grew out my hair. I had long, kind of longish hair at college. I had it all back, and I wore a baseball cap most of the time. So baseball cap.
You look like a redneck, basically.
Well, and a goatee, and because I'm blonde, my goatee was like red. So I was a full-on redneck. Actually, I was real deal. Yeah, it's kind of funny. When I grew out the goatee and put on the baseball caps and grew the hair longer, the evangelicals stopped blocking my way, and I kept it just because the young people stopped talking.
So they're not interested in saving rednecks.
I guess our path is predetermined. But yes, so speaking of rednecks, you did want to touch on the suggestion of a certain U.S. public figure that Japan. Hey, why don't we just leave Japan, give them a bunch of nukes, and let them look after themselves?
I thought you told me not to mention that.
I said I didn't want to talk about it, but you wanted to talk about it for 2 minutes. You said we couldn't not talk about it.
Before we get to that,
we're talking about rednecks. We might as well be talking about nukes. It is the title of the video.
Okay, before we get that, I do have some quick news that I want to touch upon. Stuff that I'm surprised I didn't know. You're going to laugh at me that I didn't know this stuff. But
yeah, I always do that.
Number one, okay, Jake Dalton's video. Oh, Hikopedia's in Japan.
Yeah. It was cool seeing her at the party.
Cool to see her. Hikopedia, if you don't know, she's a great commenter and video maker as well.
She uses my music and she does all sorts of adding cool stuff. And yes, it was good to get her on. Yeah.
Here's something I did not know. I tend to watch the smaller YouTubers because it's not that I don't like the big YouTubers. I like them, but I don't watch them often.
He doesn't like them.
But I was really surprised to learn that Charlotte's getting married.
Are you allowed to say? Oh, no, she did announce in the video. That's right. Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought, oh, everyone knows that. So
yeah,
didn't even know she was announcing she had a boyfriend. So so I feel stupid about that. Loretta Kimushi-chan, you didn't know, is moving back to Japan, or moving to Japan. Maybe for the first time. Actually, she's here on a 1 year. She might have been here as a student before, but Loretta or Kimushi-chan is a really great video maker, amazingly and intelligent, and she's coming back to Japan. What are you reading?
Sorry, someone was talking about my prostate. I just had to leave a comment back. I was sorry. But at least Loretta's coming back to Japan.
Okay. Very important news. I don't know if you know this, but Rachel got a new pair of shoes.
Dude, you're fucking with me now, please.
No, I'm not. Rachel got a new pair of shoes, and she put it on Twitter. And I thought, if it's good enough for Twitter, it's good enough for our show. Would you disagree with that?
Yeah, I would disagree with that. Oh, hey, look, I mean, honestly, there are some corners of YouTube that if they discover that we're flashing photos of feet, we're going to get like but
Justin has moved back to America.
Wait, Justin Bieber?
No, Justin, man in Japan.
Oh, yes, that's right, man in Japan.
He's left.
I get him confused. They're both Canadians and they're both called Justin.
Yes. Texan in Tokyo is back from Ghana.
From Ghana, yes. Not were you about to say Guantanamo?
No, I said Ghana.
I heard Gua.
And she bought chocolate for everybody.
I hope so, because
I was really happy to see Stu. Where Stu was at the Hanami.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
What is he doing in Japan?
I don't know. Where is he? He's a mystery. He's a man of mystery.
Something you're not allowed to talk about?
I think he's just traveling at the moment. He just had it was just a convenient thing that he was able to come. But yeah, he's like doing the travel thing. He's doing bits and pieces, but his channel is still as awesome as ever.
Great channel. Speaking of great channels, and someone who's finally got a video that's popped is Charlie Japan, who did a 2-minute video about the log going down the mountain. 2 minutes in Japan.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I tweeted out yesterday, and Abroad in Japan tweeted out today, and it's got 10,000 views now. It's a great little video, and he's a really talented blogger. If you don't know him, Charlie Japan, check him out. And Regan is back in Japan, another person who's really blown up.
Well, he was at the Hanami. Yes, it was good to see him as well.
Did you know he blew up as a vegan? Like, his vegan channel is huge. His Instagram is over 10,000.
Yeah, I get uncomfortable with the blowing up aspect, but yes, his vegan health advice thing, right, has been the lifestyle guru.
It's all women and homosexuals.
Yeah, well,
he's always taking off his shirt.
He's a good-looking dude. I mean, seriously, if I looked like him, I would take off my shirt all the time too.
Me too, definitely. We would do this show. We would do the show.
I would be burning my shirts as a special episode of the show, and I wouldn't need them anymore.
We started a whole new religion called "Why Wear a Shirt." It's beyond veganism. Just don't wear a shirt.
It's just
that's all the J Blogger news I have. I'm sure there's other J Blogger news out there. If you guys know of any news, hit us up. Like send us an email, or send us a tweet about some news about other J Bloggers.
Yeah, keep your tweets to yourselves.
We'll put it in the show every week. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm sure there's other news we don't know about.
Okay, so it is funny how when we started the show, how you were talking about having a plan, and we were gonna rigidly adhere to it, but that's okay. Well, so where are we at now?
Okay, so we've got the J Vlogger news out of the way. We've got the Sakura thanks out of the way. I've got a little segment for you.
Yes.
Okay, so we wanted to when we have a guest, we're gonna blindside him with quick questions, and he's just got to react. So I'm gonna give you about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 news topics.
Okay, so we're going to put a time limit on this.
Okay.
Or you can see that because last time we did the 10 questions, it took 40 minutes.
So let's say 10 minutes.
No, not 10 minutes. I think it's got to be like 2 minutes.
2 minutes, but some of these are interesting. Okay, we'll do 2 minutes, and then you can pick a couple to come back to.
Okay.
If you want.
Well, we'll see how it is. Okay, but so the idea is you're going to throw. So
I'm going to show 8 news topics at you. You're the newsman, right?
Okay, and I just have to summarize what they are or what I think about it or something like that.
Yeah. Just react. Just react.
Okay. React.
Or they're questions. They're either questions or headlines.
This could be hugely awkward, but we're going to do a segment because you asked for it, and the people have spoken.
This is a segment of news.
And we will do anything for views. We are desperate. We will sell relatives.
We already showed Rachel's feet on camera.
We showed feet. I've never shown feet on the show.
No, I think we should do that every week. Next week, we need someone's feet. Someone please send us your feet.
Wait, are you getting this?
Or we'll have to show you. Every week we want some, preferably a lady, to send us a picture of her feet, and we'll put them on camera.
You know, there was a thing once where I actually did my eyeball really close to the camera, and I got messages later on asking for more eyeball videos, and that was creepy. Sorry. So
okay, number 1, ready?
Yes.
You got the timer?
Yes.
I'll turn on my iPhone.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one. Whoops, I don't know my code. The first one, my wife and I have the same code then. So.
Dude, you don't need to say that, but yes. Okay.
Okay. Yoko just said, I just got a message from Yoko. You should take care of the baby and take care of yourself. I think that meant like I'm not taking care of you anymore. I
got a message from my wife as well, and I don't share these often. I'm not going to show this on the screen, but it says, "Say shut up." So
okay, here we go.
It's wonderful to have support at home.
I'm just coming on. Ready?
Yeah.
Ready? Okay. Number 1. Why isn't Japan involved in the Panama Papers scandal?
Because of the company law 2006. Wow, that's such a boring answer, but it's because Japanese are actually prohibited by law from operating in Japan with tax haven shell companies.
Oh, that's amazing. That's good. You answered correctly. Okay. Number 2, with Japan's yen still rising, is the ceiling political? The article says the ceiling is political. Do you agree? Yes or no?
There's no ceiling. The whole idea is that they've been trying to devalue the yen, and now it's going up against everyone's will, and it's kind of running out of control. And the finance minister said yesterday that, hey, they're going to print more money or do whatever, but they're already pulling all the levers to try to make it as cheap as possible. But at the moment, all the money's still flying in.
Okay.
And it's not because of Japan. It's because Europe and America are going to hell, and the money's just going to come in here anyway. And there's nothing that politically you can change it without like fixing the current value of the currency, which isn't going to happen. So the yen's going to keep going up.
Well, very good. Okay, that was actually pretty interesting. Japan, I don't know what this is about. Japan is going to begin testing fingerprints as currency. Any idea what that's about?
Yeah. So it's a payment thing where, like for credit cards or Suica payments, where you'll just pay by putting a fingerprint for the payment as a form of personal ID, which I think
your signature.
Yeah. So instead of having to pull out a card and swipe a card and put in a PIN number, you just touch with the thumbnail.
Oh, okay. It's the same thing. They started like a couple weeks ago. Okay.
Yeah. So you think about it with your iPhone. It's really cool for unlocking your iPhone. It's much faster than putting in the code and everything on it. I love that. But at the same time, I'm sure the fact that the Japanese government is promoting it, it is a kind of a backdoor way of tracking the identity of foreigners moving around in Japan as well.
Oh, interesting. From a paranoid Gaijin. Okay.
Yeah, that's tinfoil hat around here somewhere.
Okay, why is Wakayama, this is a hard one, why is Wakayama Japan's best kept secret?
Why is it Japan's best kept secret?
Wakayama. Japan's best kept secret. Why?
Because
there are 11 reasons.
There are 11 reasons. I got a couple. One, it's the host of the main whale hunting town. They don't want Sea Shepherd to find them. Another reason is that they have one of the best beaches in Kansai, but they stole all the sand from Australia, and they don't want the Australians to know where they put the sand.
What? Really?
Yeah. That beach, the main strip of Wakayama, the famous beach everyone goes to, it's all from Australia. It was all shipped from Australia. They moved the beach in Australia to Japan.
How many trips did that take?
I imagine they just had a very big boat or something. I don't know exactly, but they put a lot of sand there. So between slaughtering whales, I think the cove is in Wakayama, actually. Like from the movie The Cove.
Yes, but I don't think that's a good reason. That's not a good reason.
Oh, so you mean like in
Has to
tourist
be a
brochure
good
best
reason
kept season?
why you would want to go to Wakayama? The
Oh,
sand.
I'm talking about the reasons you would want to keep Wakayama a secret.
Oh, okay.
They're hiding the stolen sand and they
This is
slaughtered
a
dolphins.
tourist article. Go to Wakayama. It's a great place to go to.
Well, then I'm not doing it right if that's the case.
Yeah, I don't know either, but
I
okay.
took your question literally. I mean, no, Wakayama is a great. They have wonderful mikan. They've got Adventure World, which I went to. Oh, I've been on a tourist vacation.
Really?
It was
I
lovely.
didn't know Adventure. Well, I don't know anything about kid places yet, but I guess
lovely.
I'll find out soon.
Don't ask about where they got the sand or where the dolphins are.
Okay, next one. Japan nuclear plants are vulnerable to terror attacks.
Well, if anyone really gives enough of a shit about them, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Here's what I have no idea about, but I think you do. 7-Eleven CEO resigns as Loeb's hedge fund prevails in Japan boardroom fight.
I vaguely saw stuff about that, but yes, it just sounds like 7-Eleven, the most successful convenience store chain in Japan that's had consistent profitability and has actually been doing really well.
Yeah.
But this is actually just a matter of activist foreign shareholders wanting to get more profitability out of the shares and the company to be more innovative. Although they're doing a really good job, so it doesn't make any sense.
What did they change their name to? 7 Holding.
11. No, 7 and I Holdings are the parent company of 7-Eleven.
But that's with the commercial now. It's 7 and
well,
I.
They flash it down the bottom, but they own banks.
Well, they sing it in every commercial now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't watch much TV anymore.
That little jingle. Dun, 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 dun. No? You'll hear it tomorrow. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Here's a funny one. Japan's printing 1.23 billion 10,000 yen bills as people hoard cash at home.
Yes, it's because the banking system's about to collapse. The world is going to come to an end, and the yen is still going up, and the government's crazily printing money because, frankly, they want to generate kind of World War II style hyperinflation as anything to stop deflation, which is actually what's happening in most sectors of the economy. Yes.
But we'll talk about that later. Oh, okay, last one. Ototake apology.
So this is the man with no arms and no legs, right?
Yes, literally.
No. Or is that
yes. No, that's
not the badminton player.
No.
Well, seriously, so he's apologizing for he's married, but apparently he admitted to having like 5 affairs at the same time or something.
Exactly. I don't know about the same time. That's hard.
Well, I don't know. He should be taking a bow. I mean, maybe he shouldn't be taking a bow, but you know, it is complicated, right? Because this is a society where the women always get blamed in these affair stories, and the guy is kind of let off the hook. This is a case where the focus is very much on the guy. Mm-hmm. But people, it's true. People still, you know, you can't quite call them the harlot or whatever that you get with when the women with Becky and stuff like that, which is interesting. But he is being condemned for being. We had no idea, but I guess people, of course, they had no idea. It is interesting. I mean, you know, I don't know about the logistics about it, but yes, 5 affairs at once. You know,
that's pretty impressive.
Maybe he's taking that stuff you were talking about earlier. Maybe he has that condition. What is it?
40 seconds.
Well, that wasn't bad.
That's pretty good. Okay, I got some things I want to follow up on the hoarding thing.
No. Sorry, Robbie Jones. The commenter himself actually just put a comment. Someone joked about his mistress putting him in a suitcase and taking him overseas. Oh, that's terrible. I'm sorry.
No, the hoarding the money thing.
Yes.
Right. It's true that when Japan does have a what's it called? I forgot something. Akisu problem.
Yeah.
So people break into houses. That's probably the most common crime in Japan. It's called akisu, and often many of the houses are unlocked. And many families, because of that, many Japanese will put an obvious pile of money or in the front genkan area. So apparently, that's what they say, and they say it's a good idea. Put a little money in the front, so if anyone breaks into your house, they get that money, they'll leave right away. They won't go looking for it because they'll realize this is the money they want us to find. So we don't.
What kind of neighborhood are you living in? They actually leave bribes for burglars. No way.
But apparently in our neighborhood it's pretty common. But we've never had a problem. But we've had a couple of neighbors who got robbed. Yeah. It's because they left the door open. They leave the door open, and people just walk up and they open the door and they walk in. They don't have to break the lock. It's such a trusting neighborhood.
Okay, I've lived in some shitty neighborhoods.
You live in an apartment building. I'm talking about houses.
Yeah. So I've lived in some shitty neighborhoods on the fringes of Tokyo where they have problems. The commuter towns around Tokyo, most of these apartments are empty during the day, and they have burglary problems. They actually have burglars who will go and break into those houses because they know they're safe for like 12 hours in the day.
Yeah.
And even with apartments, those places are in danger. And but frankly, even the word akisu, I haven't heard since I lived in Hachioji. where it's a problem in the suburbs, but you don't really hear about it, more close into town. It's the first time I've heard that word in a long time.
I guess it doesn't happen in the city because there's so many people in the city. It's always busy.
I guess it depends on the neighborhoods. I'm guessing it's something. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, I guess there are areas where it's a problem that enough of a problem people talk about. Huge problem in New Zealand, but I've never heard about having actual money in the genkan in case someone breaks in. So that
I've heard of cases where the police will actually even suggest that, because if you don't do that, the robbers will come in. They'll be pissed off that they can't find any money, and they'll take a shit on your rug.
I don't believe that. I'm sorry. This is getting too urban legendy for me. But I think we're now getting to the realm of complete bullshit. But okay. It sounds good. Okay. What you do hear about?
I'd rather put money in. I'd rather not someone take a shit in my house. I mean, in the toilet. Well, it's okay.
What you do hear about in the news is you do hear about these old people who have a burglar come to their house, and they lose $500,000.
Yes.
And it's because they keep all of their life savings in cash, literally under their beds. And these burglars come into these old people's houses where they keep their life savings in cash in their house. And that is common. And that means that a burglar getting into your house and walking around will destroy your entire life. But this is the problem. This is what you're talking about with the printing currency, because so many people are hoarding cash. And they're doing it for two reasons, actually. Partly banks, with deflation, money, people are losing money in the banks. There's no benefit to going to a bank other than the security and some sort of convenience. The other thing is that so much of the economy in Japan is based on cash payments, and everyone is afraid that the Social Security ID system that's being implemented in Japan, the My Number ID system, means that all of this sort of cash economy, it's going to mean that the taxman is going to be able to access your bank records, and he's going to be able to link everything where your Social Security number is linked to. And they're going to be able to trace all the stuff that you're not paying proper enough tax on or whatever. For example, if you want to pay money to your kids, or you want to pay money to relatives, or you want to pay someone to come and wash your car, or something, or you do a cash car washing business or something like that, that's all going to become traceable. And the only way to prevent it from being traceable is to keep it all in cash as much as possible. So there's been a big thing where a lot of people have been taking money out of the banks with the introduction of the My Number system.
So I've got a friend, a New Zealander. Actually, he's a New Zealander, and
I'm probably related to him.
And he's a big half Maori guy. He's the smallest guy in his family, and he's like 6'4". Okay, he's like seven. Comes from a family of 7 brothers.
So whatever he says, you just agree with him.
So he said, I met him in the street the other day, and he's. I said, what are you doing? What are you doing in town? He doesn't live in town.
Yeah.
He's like, I was watching a documentary on currency in the world and how it's all falling apart.
Yes.
So I came here to buy gold, but did you know in Japan you cannot buy gold? Apparently you can't buy bars of gold.
I know for a fact that you can, and I know where you can do it. But okay. Why does he say that you can't?
He went to some place and he said you can't do it in Japan. They said, but you can buy silver, but you've got to order something like 20 kilograms of it or something.
Okay.
Crazy amount of so he bought 2 million yen worth of silver.
Okay.
In actual what
I'm guessing he went to I'm only speculating here. He's a New Zealander, so I'm sure he's a smart guy. I'm guessing that he went to a silver shop.
He went to some place where they sell that you can buy and sell gold.
You can't buy any gold in Japan, but you can buy silver.
You can't buy bars of gold, he said.
You can buy bars of gold. You go to Okachimachi in Tokyo. That's where you want to go. It's near Akihabara.
Well, maybe not Nagoya then. Maybe they just don't have enough.
But there is a gold. If you want to buy like a diamond ring, you want to buy,
diamond rings are worth nothing.
Well, but if you want to buy like jewelry, or you want to get like gold, like Middle Eastern people, Indians who come to Tokyo like to convert all their cash into gold stuff.
Really?
And these places are all basically the gold shops. It's like when you go to Singapore, or the Middle East, or Muslim countries which have big gold shops. All the gold shops in Tokyo are in Okachimachi, and they show and they display gold bars that you can purchase.
Wow. Okay.
So I've seen them. I've never actually bought one, so I don't know. Maybe you can't buy them. Maybe there's some rules around that. But I've seen them in the shop, so I assume it's totally doable.
Right. I couldn't believe when he said that, but at the same time, he says the whole currency system here in Japan is going to collapse, and everyone will be using gold and silver. I really doubt that's ever going to happen.
Well,
nobody has it. How are you going to buy something with gold and silver if you don't have gold or silver? Nobody's going to have it. It's going to be like 10 people's got to go.
I don't know. I mean, the world is going to hell in a handbasket. But honestly, the currency stuff. Yeah, you watch a few. There's all these conspiracy videos and so on YouTube, and you can get into them. And frankly, I think they're probably just damaging for mental health if you watch them too much. Although they've probably got some truth to them. I don't know. What's your opinion on the viability of the international banking system?
I have no idea. I don't even pretend to understand any of that.
Oh, exactly. So and that's what I think. That's what they rely on. They rely on your laxity. But that's it. I don't give a shit. So we're good.
Okay, none of the other articles. These are the top news stories on Google, by the way.
Well, let's flip it around. So the whole point was I wanted this to go from the 15th minute. I wanted to be done with all of this by 15 minutes in.
We're done.
We're done now. It's 45 minutes in. So with the remaining time on the show, I want to talk about why. Forget about Trump. Does Japan need like really small nuclear weapons to use against people who engage in antisocial behavior?
Okay, so as you know, I am overly. I'm one of those.
You're a sensitive soul.
I'm overly sensitive when it comes up to public behavior and how you should, which is pretty ridiculous since I'm often drunk.
Well, there's two things you should mention when you're saying this. One, you're a very sensitive person, and two, you live in. Well, you don't live in, but you work in not the greatest neighborhood in Nagoya, right?
It's on the edge of the. It's right from one side. It's all nice, reputable businesses, but one block over, it's all turns into hostess bars and.
Yeah. So you combine these two things together, and Victor's walking down the street. What's happened? Anything interesting happened to you lately, Victor?
Well, just 2 days ago, I actually got a video of the first part of this, but I didn't know the rest was going to happen. I would have kept the camera on, but
Stop doing that.
I'm getting on my bicycle, and this homeless man walks up to me.
Yeah.
And he's walking up to me, and he's like this. He's all skinny. He's like, "I'm hungry." He says in English, "I'm hungry. I have no money."
Maybe give some of those pills. He's
showing me how skinny he is, and he says, "I have no money. I'm hungry." And I told him in Japanese. I said, "I'm not going to give you money, but if you want, I'll go to the convenience store, which is right on the corner, and I'll buy you a sandwich."
Yeah.
He said, "Okay." So I went down there with him, and he's like, "Can I have an onigiri?" And I said, "Sure, onigiri's fine." I said, "Get yourself 2 or 3. Get eat a lot." And I said, "Get yourself a beer if you want to." Yeah.
You offered the beer. Okay, that's good.
He goes, No, I don't drink. He said, "I'll have ocha." Ocha de. So I said, "Okay." So I got him 3 onigiris and
class. Yeah.
And it wasn't much. I got myself a beer though, and I walked outside, but you could tell by the way he spoke to me that he had once been an educated, nice guy. He spoke English.
Well, wait a minute. He didn't cease being educated or a nice guy. He just happened to be obviously then very down on his luck, right?
Right. I misspoke. That was very racist of me.
Sorry, the social justice warrior bros are here to condemn you.
And I'm pretty sure he had a vagina. But anyway, so it took a long time. It took 48 minutes for me to mention genitalia. Oh no, we did the
no. We were talking about boners like in the very start of the show.
Who did that first?
Yeah,
you or me.
I was practically the theme song.
So I bought him some food, and then after he left, I was impressed at how did it become that way? And I was thinking about this ex-YouTuber. I do know someone. No, I do know someone who. I'm trying to be serious.
The names of YouTubers is just now jumping into my head.
There is one YouTuber who recently has hit upon hard times, and he refuses to get a job teaching English. Wow. He thinks he's going to become an actor or a writer, and actually, I'm a good. Who did Unrested did a video about this guy too because he's good. He used to be very active about 2 or 3 years ago. He just dropped off the face, and I'm thinking this guy's going to turn into a homeless person. I was just wondering, how do you become a homeless person? And this is
that's a good question because it is something that there's
not that you want to, but how do you eventually turn into that where you have to ask people on the street for food?
Yeah, and it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, there's in New Zealand, because we have public housing for people, it's almost always a mental health thing. It's people who just wander out of their houses and they sleep rough. And when I used to work in the central city of Auckland, I mean, we knew who the homeless people were, and we knew them by name. There was a guy who thought he was a seagull. He wouldn't talk. He actually thought he was a seagull, and he would. It's almost like a kind of a comic character from a movie. He's just walking around. He'd go up to tourists and stand behind them and go, "Back!" And tourists would jump up and run away and stuff. We watched this guy every day. It was just hilarious, you know. But we kind of knew who they were. In Japan, it's more complicated. You have people who really.
Well, there's mental illness for sure.
There's definitely always that. But I've seen documentaries and features on it in Japan where they go to these homeless parks, and there's a lot of people, salarymen, people who have families, who just lost their jobs. The social welfare in Japan, if you lose your job, you only get unemployment insurance like for 1 year. And you're only counted. Japan.
I thought it was 6 months. Is it 1 year? Okay,
that's 1 year. Well, most. But they only count you as a statistic, unemployment statistic, while you're receiving that insurance. But if you go beyond 1 year unemployed, then they don't even count you as unemployed anymore. So that's why the rates here appear so low. But
that's what everyone who's against Obama says in America as well. No, the jobs haven't gone up. Just the number of people being counted has gone down. So.
Okay, well, they have a big thing with that in Japan. And I guess if you're someone who's like burned out, or you've had some sort of a nervous breakdown with work and which you haven't recovered from, and you can't go back to working, or you've had a big health problem, there's all sorts of ways that society doesn't have much of a safety net for people who financially can't carry on, renting a house or whatever. And the other thing is that there is a kind of this big black cash economy. These people can sustain themselves getting cash and doing odd jobs and so on, and sleeping rough. So you do see in Japan. I mean, Koizumi famously boasted publicly about how in Japan, even the homeless people read the newspapers. You say even
99% literacy here.
Yeah. But he was boasting that, how all of societies, even our homeless people are high class. He was boasting like to George Bush or something. It was an awkward moment.
George Bush said, "Do you have black people?"
Yeah, I think he asked everyone that. And I'm sure he would have been assured by the LDP that they're absolutely don't.
He said, "Oh, you have black people too."
Yeah, I heard about that.
Did you know that homeless people can collect cans? I don't know about in Tokyo. I'm assuming it's the same.
Yeah, they all the time. You see them with the big boxes and whatever. Recyclables.
Yeah, and they make about 2,500 yen per day, or they can make.
But they do lots of other things as well. I mean, they do that. But there are people who come up and again, I've seen these shows where they do these kind of runaround tasks for like rich people or whatever. Will come up and same place every day, and they'll pay cash to some guys to go and stand in the queue, or to go and get go to try to find tickets for a concert at the secondhand ticket shops or whatever, and go around looking.
That's good.
Well, that's what they do. That's what they do. But all cash, all odd jobs.
At Home Depot. Do you know in the States we have that? Mexicans go to the Home Depot and stand out in front of it before it opens, and then people drive by in trucks and say, "I need 3 guys to,
I'll come pick apples or help at the farm or
do this and that odd job," and then people jump in. Yeah.
Which in a way seems good, but of course they're not getting paid anything, for it. I mean, I know that the American economy depends on that. It's not that much of a scale in Japan.
Most of them, are rapists.
Well, they're going to pay for the wall.
Mexicans, most Mexicans are rapists. Don't you? You've heard Trump. Yeah, okay.
Oh well, he seems a credible guy to me.
So there's that. So anyway, after this homeless guy, after I left him, he wasn't so bad. But after I left him, I see these 2 young guys sitting down to smoke cigarettes.
Yeah.
They just take away their empty cigarette pack and just throw it right on the ground.
And let's be clear here. Nagoya is like Tokyo, right? You can't smoke on the streets anymore, right?
So they're smoking they're standing almost standing on a sign, throwing garbage on the ground. So I just walked up to him and I said, "Let me get that for you." I said, "Sute ageru kara." I bent down between his legs and just picked it up, and started walking away. And the guy said, "Oh, sorry." And I made a comment about, "Hey, this is Japan. You don't have to say sorry. You say gomenasai and just don't throw garbage on the ground." I told him in Japanese.
I'm impressed that you didn't like making a citizen's arrest or something, because
no, I try to make him feel guilty. Like, come on, there's a garbage can like less than 3 meters away. There's a garbage can right there, but they're right in front of the convenience store, right?
Yeah.
So, and then I'm walking down the street. 1 block later, a taxi driver gets out, steps 1 block. So he's 1 block away from the convenience store, right?
Yeah.
1 block later, a taxi driver steps out of his car and starts peeing on a tree right on the street. And it's a main street. I'm like, there's a car. Come on, they're right there. Right there.
Yeah. That's a very, in Tokyo, that's a very Ikebukuro thing. I've seen people peeing on busy, crowded footpaths.
Even if there's a convenience, I mean, in Nagoya, you can just say, "Can I use your convenience store?" And they're like, "Yeah, no problem."
Yeah, and any park will have public toilets or anything. I mean, you must have had some sort of problem. But you know what? Another thing with taxis, a lot of people who are from the worst neighborhoods or even rough, work in these big fleets of taxi drivers. And taxi driving has traditionally been one of those kind of outlets used by the economy for, for basically out of work old guys.
Yes, yes.
And that means that you will have some great taxi drivers, some real pros who take pride in their work, and you'll get some terrible taxis. I've complained to you. I think I texted to you once that I was in a cab where I couldn't even breathe. The driver smelled so bad, and he was a terrible driver, and I thought I was going to die. And I think I texted, "This driver stinks so bad, I'm going to get out of this cab." And you seem really offended that I was like some rich guy complaining about a smelly driver, and you were like defending the driver. I know you used to drive. No, seriously, this was literally.
I did drive in college. Yeah, I drove for 2 years. Made some pretty good money for a kid.
But the thing is, this would offend you. This is a guy who's bringing down the entire profession, and I'm sure he's exactly the same guy.
I'm completely against BO for sure. But
yeah, no, this was like seriously can't breathe. The funniest, I'll tell you. Okay, so the funniest one ever that we had with that was in a cab. When you got a kid, like for us, it's really hard to use. You can't use public transport really in Tokyo during rush hour. The trains are too packed that you can't take a baby onto them, and people will like really scowl at you and frown that you're even like, bringing a baby car and a baby onto a train.
Facebook, people complaining about babies on trains.
Yeah, but you got to get around. You can't not travel. You got to have a life. We don't have cars in central Tokyo. So what happens is, when you're self-conscious about it, most people with young kids in central Tokyo, you have to use taxis, and you have to spend an incredible amount of money because taxis are really expensive.
Oh, right.
So we were using a lot of taxis when the lad was less than a year old. And we learned about the hit and miss of taxis. When you're using taxis almost every day, good drivers are good, but the bad ones, the ones at the BO, the people who look like homeless people who are just driving a really beat up old car. And you can tell by the number plates. I hate to say this, but you can tell by the location on the number plate. Adachi is a really bad sign on a taxi. Oh, really? I go out in Tokyo. There's a neighborhood which has a lot of taxi companies, and I'll go out of my way to avoid taxis from that area.
You'll say no thanks when Adachi.
I'll put my hand down and pretend not to be looking for a cab if I see an Adachi cab coming. I will go that far.
I was just saying hi to Hitler over there.
Yes.
Hey, buddy.
I was like this. It wasn't to you. It was just, I'm a skinhead. Yeah, look at me.
Just telling white power.
Okay. Toodles.
Only as a joke. I don't mean that.
But so once we were in this cab, and it was one of these missed cabs, and the driver was terrible, and like swerving all over the place, and he smelled bad. And my wife and I were like holding our breaths. It was like terrible. And we had the lad, and it was just funny. It was only like a 2-minute ride, or 5-minute ride. It was just from the kindergarten home. It was raining, and we couldn't use the train. The lad took this enormous dump. Like there was just this explosion. He was in wearing a nappy and everything. It was all sealed in, but it's kind of funny. We were overwhelmed. 1 minute we were overwhelmed by the unfamiliar and unpleasant odor of the driver, and we were both looking at each other like this guy is killing us. What are we going to do? How do we considered actually stopping halfway home to get out of the cab because it smelled so bad.
Right.
And then we reached the finest, best revenge, because one thing that you'd appreciate is when you've got a young kid, you really kind of become desensitized, even if it smells, and you know what it smells. It's like a kid's shit is like your own fart, right?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it smells bad. You're not going to say it smells good, but you're accustomed to it. It's a familiar smell. It's like having a TV on.
It's a friendly bad smell.
It's a friendly bad smell. So the taxi went from being a hostile bad smell to an extremely strong, friendly smell.
What did the taxi driver do?
Well, he couldn't do anything, could he? I mean, we were just laughing our heads off all the way back. I think he drove a little bit faster. He knew it was close.
That's good.
Yes, that was a good revenge story. And on that note, that's a terrible note to end. Let's
end on Hikosaemon's son's shit.
Why not?
But I do have some good news. And you gotta watch. I have some homework for you. Yes. There's a guy named I don't know what his name is now, but it used to be Barry versus Japan.
Okay, I don't know him, but yeah.
And let's see. And I did a video response to him a couple months ago. And he did a video about how he hated Japan and how he used to, he came here with all good intentions. He was going to love it here, and he was really looking forward to it. Oh, his name is now called Barry Abroad.
Yeah, yeah.
But originally Barry versus Japan. And he did a video, when was it now? Let's see, 6 months ago, actually.
Okay, yeah.
It's called Confirmed. Teaching in Japan is awful. Don't do it. Watch this.
Yeah, yeah. All the sandwiches that barely nourish you. The people, the microaggressions are overwhelming. I get it. Yeah.
And we may be able to get him on the show next week.
Yeah.
He's in China now.
He's in China now. Okay, it'd be interesting to compare.
Teaching, but we might be able to get him on the show next week. We're trying to figure it out. You know how it's hard to get internet in China, but we didn't want to risk it today. We're going to do a test.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll get him next week. He's a nice guy. I did a video response to him, being very honest and blunt about my disagreement with his video, but he has no problem with it, and he's quite willing to appear on the show.
Well, that's the best thing. I don't want people to agree with us. Actually, it's be better discussions, provided they'll take it the right way. He is in China still.
He's in China now, but I think he's going to be back in Japan next week.
Okay. If we live stream from China, we have to not mention Panama because they will shut down the live feed immediately when you say that word, apparently.
Yes. Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's next week. That's Barry. It'll be on my channel, Flakeman. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching.
Yes.
And tell us what you guys think about this kind of slightly organized format.
Yeah, I just saw the comments again. I got totally, yes, that's right. Keep telling us what you want to see, and we're going to keep refining the format. Many thanks to Sonomama82 for flipping us the comments. And we're going to keep.
Does he have a first name, or do we just call him Sonomama?
Sonomama82. Why not? Just Sonomama or 82. Just call him 82. Sonomama.
Right.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Thanks everyone for joining.
And if you guys have any hints or any J news out there, like tweet us this week.
Yeah.
Cool. Just add this to the show, and we'll add it to the show.
Sweet. All right. See you guys later. Peace.
Good night.
Boom. Where do we end this thing? There it is.